going on, guys? This is Michael Moore here. We're going to talk a little bit about this program called VeraCrypt. It's an encryption tool, and it allows for a bunch of different types of encryption: file encryption, volume encryption, system partition encryption, and various other smaller aspects of encryption. So TrueCrypt uses steganography as far as when it talks about the hidden volumes. If you want to create a volume, we'll get into that, and it'll just go over some general ideas. So you create a volume, and then you can create another volume inside of it and make that one hidden. So that's why it uses steganography. And it also uses parallelism, which allows you to divide up the different parts, different processes, and it makes it a lot faster. So if you got a bunch of different cores, it'll go by super fast. If you only got a couple cores, it'll take a little bit longer, but it still shouldn't take a very long time. And all the different encryption stuff they got is 256 bits. The keys, 256-bit keys. So we're gonna just jump right into it and create a volume. It says create an encrypted file container. That's exactly how it sounds. You can select any file in the system and create a virtual encrypted disk, just like another volume per se. Because once you mount it, it'll look just like any other volume. Here's a non-system partition drive. If you want to shrink your drive, and partition a small space for it, just like they did when they set up these machines for the C drive and the other different various partitions. You can do it that way, or you can encrypt one that's already there, the system partition or the entire system drive. So we're just going to do the file container for demo purposes, considering that we don't have the option to do either of those at this moment, because don't want to get into all that complicated stuff. Just give you a general idea of how to work the using the file container. So here you have the standard VeraCrypt volume or the hidden VeraCrypt volume. And here the hidden, what I was talking about earlier, using steganography. So you create one with the standard, and then you'll create another one inside of there, and you'll make that one hidden. And the reason why you would do that is in case somebody forced you to give your password for the standard one, and they won't be able to tell if there's one hidden inside of there. You can also probably create one outside of the volume, but then it'll be harder to find. So you just go to standard VeraCrypt volume here. Next, we're going to select the file. We already did one on the desktop. But we're just going to go through the process anyways. We'll copy this, then we'll paste it right there. See, we already did one. I should go ahead and delete that one. But as you can see, we'll go to properties, so you can see that this is fresh, 74.5 megabytes. We are going to select that one. Yes. Then you go to next. Here's the different encryption algorithms. We'll select this one to give you a general idea of how the process works. Encryption on top of encryption on top of encryption. So it's going to go, each block is going to be first encrypted with Serpent, then with Twofish, and then with AES, so it goes backwards as it shows. This goes first, and then this goes just like any regular function you would have in programming classes and whatnot. You take the inner part, then the next part, and finally all the way to the left. You can benchmark all these to see how long it takes to work these. Show you how that works. If you can choose a buffer size. We'll just use the standard like they had it. You choose we're using the encryption algorithms. The one we selected. It'll benchmark all the encryption algorithms. It'll tell you how long the average it takes to do. The mean is 2.8 gigabytes per second for the AES, which is the one we're going to use because it's lightning fast, and the others are a little bit slower, but it doesn't mean that they're any worse. It's just for time purposes we're going to use that one. And you can also do the benchmark for PKCS5 or PRF. Says it might take a long time and VeraCrypt may seem unresponsive. Okay, while we're waiting on that to work, I can tell you a little about the other things. Alright, so the system partition, it doesn't work when using dynamic disks. So in case you wanted to do something with the system, just make sure it's a basic. And it also allows you to create a rescue disk, which we'll get into that here in a little bit. Alright, so this is finished. So it allows you to give you the information, the different various iterations. Like so it starts out at 500,000 iterations. That's using the PIM. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll select the hash algorithms. Let that run there for you so you can see the difference in the hash algorithms. So the one that they choose is the fastest one, the SHA 512. So we'll just jump right into it. So we're going to go to the AES. Like I said, we're using the 512. If you want more information on each one, you just click on it right here and it'll give you more information. So it's just AES. And same thing for the hash algorithms. Click on it, select it, and just click on the information. It'll pull up the website, give you more information about it. So here we're going to select the amount of the volume size. We're just going to go with 1 gigabyte. And we're going to set a simple password up. It usually needs to be about, let's see, 20. Like it says here, because there's 20 or more with various different combinations, but we're just going to make it very simple. Here's a key file, which can increase your password, help you prevent against brute force passwords, and the PIM helps it as well. Like I showed you in the hash algorithm, 500,000 iterations usually is a standard for that for the top one, and then it's just all the one we're using is about 655,000 iterations of the hash algorithm. So it does it 655,000 times doing the hash. So you can set it even higher or lower. TrueCrypt that was first made, years ago, and this is built off of their frameworks, and so was another product, but it didn't necessarily get as far along as VeraCrypt, and it isn't. Some of the functions don't work the same way. They're inoperable per se. So that's why we decided to use VeraCrypt instead of the other one. But they're very similar. Anyway, so we'll click next. Warn against a short password, but we're not going to worry about that. Here's where you need to move your cursor. The longer you move it, it significantly increases the cryptographic strength of the encryption keys. So you don't have to wait. You can click on format whenever you want to, but we're going to just wait till it turns green. That's a good way. You can make sure you can go all the way across if you want to. All right, so we'll just hit format. Just wait on that. It's done. All right, so we're just going to click exit and go look at our volume. So we're going to have to select, we'll select W as the letter to mount it. First we gotta select it, the file. So we selected the file. We already got the volume set. Click mount. Enter in the simple password we created. And there we go. So if you want to mount into it, just like with any volume, you can look right here. It shows right there under as local disk. Or you can double click here right inside the program. It allows you to put all your hidden your information you want to be kept saved in there, to where keep from prying eyes, financial statements, you know, stuff that you don't want the world to see, anyone to see, just a copy steal programs, that you want to make money off of, that you don't want people to steal the secrets from, anything that you don't feel like anyone else besides you or your colleagues or whoever, you don't want anybody to see except for yourself. You put them in there. And it's got the dismount feature right here. So you can click dismount all if you got a bunch of them mounted up. We'll just do that. And just dismount all of them. We'll talk a little bit about this right here. Gives you a bunch of different options, the same way as in the front when you first select it. Select file device, create new volume. Permanently decrypt if you want to tear down the file. If you want to, you create a rescue disk. Create a rescue disk image. Same basic things we already talked about. You add it to your favorites and whatnot, and everything here is just like talking about the same stuff that we already went over. But if you just want to jump right to it, you can go to this part and allow you to do the benchmark, test the vectors. Here's one of the most important things I saw is like, say you got a flash drive on the move, you want to keep everything encrypted. You don't want anybody to see that. But you don't want to have to install VeraCrypt on every machine you get to. This will allow you to have that access to that encrypted stuff to where you can mount it and look at the information using the traveler disk setup. And also the volume expander. That's a good thing as well. Say you put a gigabyte or 5 gigabytes, you only have an 8 gigabyte volume, and you want to put an extra gigabyte or 2 in there, and you don't want to use up a lot of your system memory if everything's tight. You just do a little bit of expansion right, using that volume expander. And here's the settings that you can set up for yourself, the default key files if you choose to, security tokens, the hotkeys, the user guide, the online help, beginner's tutorial, which is what I went through to be able to explain all the different processes. Version history, if you're curious about that, if you want to donate, there's a button there. Of course, when you install it at the end there, they ask you if you want to donate as well, so they're really wanting some money. Legal notices, contact information, stuff like that. I guess that'll about do it, guys. You guys have a good day.